G'day guys and girls, and welcome to this webinar. Thank you for giving us your 1 hour. It means that you want to get better at Excel, and we are here to achieve that goal. I have Kyle Pugh, who is a certified Microsoft trainer. He is a world expert in VBA and macros, and he's going to be teaching you VBA macros in the next 45 minutes. So he is an amazing teacher, and I'm so glad that I got him to do this free webinar for you. I'm going to pass it over to Kyle, and he is going to take you on an Excel journey that's going to save you lots of time and hours and money and just make you better at Excel. So over to Kyle, let's get into it.
Hello, and welcome to this Microsoft Excel Macros and VBA webinar. My name is Kyle Pugh, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer with over 17 plus years of live classroom instruction and online training. During this session, I'm going to introduce you to some key concepts to help you further understand and develop your macro and VBA skills inside of Microsoft Excel. Now, if you're brand new to the magical world of Excel macros and VBA, I want to start out by talking a little bit about what this is all about and how this is ultimately going to help you to become more efficient and understand and get you on that path to mastering Excel macros and VBA. So let's start out with a little bit of an introduction, and then I'm going to take you in and show you a couple of examples of how you can use macros and VBA to help you out. So if there's nothing else you take away from this little webinar, this is the key. This is really what Excel VBA and macros are all about. It's automation. I want to automate my experience. Imagine this, and I'm sure you can imagine this quite clearly. You work inside of Excel. Perhaps it's a daily task. Maybe there's a specific series of tasks that you need to accomplish. Perhaps this is daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it might be. As an example, I need to create a report. Every Friday, I get this data dump. It comes down from some other system, perhaps a database in the background, a CSV file, whatever it might be. I get this data dump, I bring it into Excel. Now, once it's inside of Excel, I need to do several things to get this data ready for presentation. First, I need to clean it up. Perhaps I need to add headers to the list. I need to format those headers. I need to format the data, get currency values in there, format the dates appropriately, remove stuff that I don't need. Maybe I'm filtering, sorting, I'm creating calculations, charts, pivot tables, you name it. You've got this report that you've got to finalize and make this data presentable. Present that message that your coworkers or boss or whoever the viewer is needs to see. And I need to do this every week. And on Friday, when it's my time to create this report, it takes up a large chunk of my day. So now I'm working through lunch, I'm working after hours, it's Friday. I want to hurry up and get out of here. You feel the pain there? I'm going through several steps. Well, in comes macros and VBA. And we can automate the experience. I want to be able to click a button, one single button press, and get my work done. That's it. That's what macros and VBA is all about. Automate your experience, whatever that experience might be. Whether it's a report, whether it's something simple like inserting a worksheet and renaming it, that takes a couple of steps. We can narrow it down into one step, all through the use of a macro. Now, ultimately, this saves you time. It saves you money. It helps you to become more efficient as you work inside of Excel, as you do your daily work. Now, I'm not spending as much time working on this report, this project. I've got macros and VBA to do some of that work for me, or perhaps all of it, and that frees up your time for other important aspects during your day, like having your lunch and going home on time, things like that. And we can accomplish all of this, again, through a single button press of the mouse. Now, that's just a little bit of an introduction. Let me take you into Excel now, and I want to show you a couple of examples of how you can get in there and start to quickly automate your experience. Even with just a little bit of knowledge of what macros in VBA is, you can already get in there and start to automate it. The first thing I'm going to show off here, this is perhaps one of the most important things that I like to show off when you're first getting into VBA, is what's called the macro recorder. So let's jump into Excel and let's take a look at how this works. Now, open in front of you, I've got just a blank workbook. This is even something you can try. I don't have any special files open, nothing, just a blank Excel document. Now, I want to be able to automate a series of tasks. Now, we might think, well, in order for me to automate something, I've got to get into the Visual Basic code, the VBA, Visual Basic for Applications. I need to get into the code, and I need to be a full-blown programmer in order to do this. Well, you know what? With the macro recorder, this built-in tool inside of Microsoft Excel, it will allow you to record yourself. Literally record yourself. You just jump into Excel, you click on buttons, you type stuff in, you click on sheets, you click on cells. It will record you doing everything that you do inside of Excel. Now, why is that important? That's great. You can record yourself doing something. All right. Well, the reason why that's important is the next time you want to perform that same set of steps, those same tasks, you just run the recording. You say, Excel, last week you recorded me doing A, B, and C. Let's do that again. Now you hit a button and it does it all for you. All just by recording yourself, using tools inside of Excel that you're already familiar with. So take a look. Here's the big scenario. I want to record myself putting a title on the worksheet, just some nice title up here inside of C1, ABC Company or Quarterly Report or whatever my title is going to be. I want to format that title. I want to change its background color, its font size. I want to center align that. I want to put a border in there. And then I want to drop down into cell C2 and I want to put today's date in there. Now, that's a series of steps. I typed something in, I did some formatting, color, borders, font size, so on and so on, center align it. You know, I got 10, 12, 15, 20 steps that I just went through to be able to put that title on the worksheet. Well, every time I need that title, I got to repeat all those steps. Here's the macro recorder. Now, first off, inside of Excel, we have a hidden tab. We're familiar with the tabs. We got home, insert, page layout, and so on. There's a tab that's not typically on your system. It's one that we have to activate. And by activating this tab, it's called the Developer tab, it's going to give you access, quick access, to the commands that you'll use to help you record and get into VBA code. Now I'm going to activate the Developer tab, and the way that you do this, I'm going to right click on the Home tab. It could be any of the tabs. I'm just going to choose Home. I'm going to right mouse button click, and I'm going to go to Customize the Ribbon. Go ahead and open that up. Inside the Options window, I've got Customize Ribbon, and here I'm going to go over and turn on the Developer tab. Now, once I turn that on, it's on. I don't have to come back in and turn it on again. It's on. The only way it's going to go away is if you go back into here and you turn off the Developer tab yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. This now opens up my Developer tab. There it is on my screen. And on the far left, I've got all my code tools. Visual Basic, Macros, Record Macro. That's what we're about to use. Relative references, and something about macro security. Now let's take a look at recording some actions. Now remember, I'm going to record myself using the macro recorder to put a title on the worksheet and format it and put today's date in there. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Record Macro. This opens up my little Record Macro dialog box. First thing it wants from me is to name the set of steps that I'm about to record. So I'll go ahead and give it a name. I'm just going to call this Worksheet Title. Now, very important, there are some restrictions to macro names. One of them is no spaces. Excel will not allow you to put a space inside your macro name. Just doesn't want them. In fact, if you do it, you put a space in there, you hit OK, it's going to let you know that you did something wrong. You can have up to 255 characters inside of a macro name. I don't think I ever use that many characters, but I try to be direct and to the point, right? Short, but clear. Okay? I try not to get too wordy inside of them. That's my opinion. That's my experience inside there. I just try not to get too long with them. But you do have plenty of real estate for you to use. So I've got my name of my macro, no spaces. Optionally, I can give it a shortcut key. Let's say I do Control J. I'll just press the J key there. Now, when I want to be able to run this same set of steps that I'm about to record, I just hit Control J on my keyboard, and I've automated that experience. Now, I can also do Shift J, and my shortcut key would become Control Shift J. I'll leave that up to you. If you're trying this out, this is totally an option. There are other ways to run macros as well. I like shortcut keys. The only problem is I got to remember them. And I've got a hard enough time trying to remember everything else that I got on my plate, let alone a shortcut key. But it is a great way to automate the experience all just through a button press. Okay? In this case, a shortcut key. So I got Control J. The next option asks me where I want to be able to store the macro, or more specifically, where this macro is going to be available to me and potentially to others. Now, the default location is this workbook, meaning the active workbook that I'm working inside of. The nice thing here is when I record this, all these steps in the automation I'm creating is going to be available in the active workbook so that I can use it when I have the workbook. If I throw this up on a network drive or SharePoint or I email it to somebody, they grab it, they pull it down, they have the macro as well, which is great. But maybe that's not what you want. Maybe the macro that you're creating, you're automating these series of steps, is just a one-off. You do it once inside the document and that's it. We don't need it anymore. And maybe I want to be able to use it across multiple workbooks. Well, if you want to do that, you store it inside of what's called the personal macro workbook. By storing it here, it's now available to any workbook that you open on your system. Pretty neat. Again, automate it. Create it once, automate the experience, never have to do it again because you've stored it in the personal macro workbook and you could use it inside of any Excel document you open on your computer. Now, for the first example, I'm going to go ahead and put it inside of this workbook, the active workbook. Now, my next step is I get to leave a description. This is optional. Don't have to do it. But think of this. Have you ever inherited work from somebody? Somebody in the office, they've left the team, they've left the project, they're out sick, whatever it might be. Now, you've been given some of their work. They ever leave notes for you? They ever tell you why they did things? What was their thinking? Right? It might be really hard to get into their head and understand, well, why did they do it this way? What does this do? Well, that's what description's all about. Leave a note. Let yourself, as a reminder for yourself, and for others that might interact with your macros, let them know what's going on. What does this macro do? So I'm going to be really short here just for the sake of the video. I'm going to say this macro places a title on the worksheet. Yada, yada, yada. Right? And I can keep going here. You can be a bit wordier if you'd like to as well. But it's all about leaving notes, leaving some description behind. All right. So this is our macro recorder. We're just doing the initial setup here. Here comes the magic. So I'm going to hit OK. The moment I hit OK, I just did, it is now recording you. Anything you do in the application, you click in a cell, you type something in, you click on a button on the tab, you delete something, you add something, whatever it is, Excel is writing it down. Okay? So keep that in mind as you start recording here. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and click into C1. And remember, Excel just wrote that down. Ooh, you just selected C1. Now I'm going to jump into there. I'm going to type in, let's see, we'll do quarterly. I spell that right, quarterly report. I'll hit my enter key. I'm going to drop down a cell. I'm going to put a formula in here to put in today's date. So I'm going to say equals today, open, close, print. Hit my enter key again. There's today's date. Now I'm going to go ahead and format that. I'm going to jump in there and let's see, I'll go to my home tab and I'll change it. A little bit of font formatting here. I'll make it bold. Let's see, let's bump up the font size. Let's make this blue. All right, let's go ahead and center align that. Maybe I'll center align this as well. Put a border on. And again, everything I'm doing here, I'm going through a series of steps. I'm not keeping track of how many I'm doing. I'm probably 10 plus, so maybe 20 steps now. Going through this series of steps. Excel is writing it all down for me. The next time I want to perform this, I just recall or I run the recording that Excel performed for me. So let's actually do one more. I'm going to highlight that date, and I'm going to go give it a custom format here for dates. Let's grab like that one. All right, looks good. So let's say that's it. That's all I need to do. That's all I wanted to automate. So now I'm going to go to my developer tab, and back to the left-hand side, I've got the code section. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop recording. You want to make sure, very important, remember Excel's writing down everything you do. Once you're done, stop the recorder. If you don't, Excel's just going to keep recording, just keep writing everything down. So I'll hit stop. All right, good to go. So I've now recorded myself putting that title in there and formatting it. So imagine this. The next week rolls around, I need to recreate that title for a new report that I'm creating. Well now, and I'm just going to insert a new sheet here just as an example. I got sheet 2, it's currently empty. I'm going to run my shortcut key. I recorded that. I did those steps earlier. So now I do Control J, that was my shortcut key, and there's my title. Quarterly report, got the date in there, got it formatted, all in one button press. Done. What do you think of that? Save yourself time, money, become more efficient inside of Excel just by recording yourself performing routine tasks. That's it. The macro recorder. And remember, that was from the developer tab that we had to activate. Just right-click the tab, customize the ribbon, activate the developer tab, and then you can start recording your actions, tools, features that you use inside of Excel. This could be things like sorting a list, filtering a list, inserting data, calculating data. Whatever you do manually inside of Excel, we can automate it through recording your steps. All right, that's the macro recorder. And that's perhaps one of the #1 tips that I can give new users to Excel macros and VBA because of just how quick it is. Now, you're always going to want to take your knowledge a step further, or perhaps various steps further, multiple steps further. Well, the macro recorder, it's great, it's quick, it's easy to access, and I highly recommend it. And there's a few other topics that we want to get into there as well. But the next tip I'm going to give you is Excel just wrote all that down. Just said, hey, you clicked into C1, you typed this in, you did this, that, and the other thing as far as formatting was concerned. Now, what if you want to modify it? Well, you know what? We no longer use blue as our company color. I no longer want it to say quarterly report. I want it to say weekly report. Okay? Well, you could go back to the macro recorder and re-record it, or you can get into the VBA code, everything that it wrote down for you, and you can modify it there. Take a look. So the next tip, I'm going to take you into the VBA window and introduce you to making edits to the VBA code. Watch this. So I'm going back to my developer tab. I'm going to go ahead and go back into the code section, and I'm going to open up the Visual Basic button. Now this is going to open up your VBA window or your Visual Basic Editor. It is a completely separate window from Excel. If you get into macros and VBA inside of any of the Office applications, Word, PowerPoint, Access, whatever, you get into the VBA side of things, it's the exact same window. So what you're going to learn here during this webinar and the courses that we offer on Excel macros and VBA, you're going to be able to apply similar concepts to any of the Office applications. So watch this. Inside the VBA window, I've got what's called my project panel. Inside the project panel, I've got a kind of a replica of the workbook itself, the open workbook, and I've got a folder called modules. And this is a topic that we'll get much more in depth into throughout our Excel Macro and VBA courses that we offer. Now, inside of a module, this is where your code is stored, your VBA code. So if I give module 1 a double click, here's my code. You might recognize some of it. The first line is called the sub procedure, and it's got my worksheet title. That's the name of the macro that I created. Down below, I've got some green lines. These start with an apostrophe. These are comments. They're not really runnable code. They don't execute anything. They're just comments, notes that you can leave behind inside of your procedures, your macros. And then down below, we've got everything that Excel wrote down as it recorded you doing your task. In this case, the very first line, the first thing that executes is range C1. We're selecting cell C1. Select C1 range. The next one, we're taking the active cell, which is range C1, and we're going to make it equal to quarterly report. So I decide, you know what? We're no longer calling it quarterly report. This is now going to be a weekly report. All right. Well, I'll just change it from quarterly report to weekly. And I'm just changing it right here inside the code. Made the change. I can modify anything else I need in there. I could delete stuff. I could add stuff to it. And that's all stuff that we're going to go through as we get deeper and deeper into Excel macros and VBA within our courses. So I've made a change. I'm going to go ahead and close this window. I hop back out. Now I'm going to insert a new sheet just for clarity. Got a new sheet, completely empty. I'm going to go ahead and run my shortcut, Control J. And there's my macro, just automated that experience. And I've got weekly report tagged up there inside of C1. There we go. All right, so making edits to the VBA code. You don't have to re-record yourself. Don't reinvent the wheel if something changes. Just get into the code and make the appropriate edits. And you're done. So we got the macro recorder. Get quick on updating and getting in there and automating your experience. Okay? Again, save yourself time, money. Get more efficient as you work inside of Excel by automating the experience. Get into the VBA code. Now, the VBA code, or the Visual Basic for Applications code, it can be a bit daunting. Definitely can be a bit daunting, especially if you've done zero programming. If you've done programming in other languages, you're going to see a lot of similar concepts. But if you've done zero, goose egg, nothing, you've never picked anything up as far as programming is concerned, it can be daunting. It can be hard. There's a lot to learn within there. But that's my goal. That's John's goal, to help you master this and become more efficient in not only recording yourself and automating quickly, but getting into the VBA code and writing your own Visual Basic code to automate just about anything, or I should say actually anything inside of Excel. Okay? So I want to take you a bit deeper during this webinar. We got automating through the macro recorder. We've seen a little bit of the VBA code, just quickly making an edit to it. That's a quick intro. Let's jump a bit deeper into the code so we can see a bit more and introduce you to a few more concepts that we're going to knock out of the park as you get into our Excel Macro and VBA courses. Take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and close this workbook. And you know what? Actually, before I close it, a very, very important concept that we should discuss here. You've now created some code all through the macro recorder. We saw that big chunk of VBA code in there. I want to be able to save this so that I can reuse it. Well, when Excel 2007 came out, Microsoft made a pretty big change as far as documents that contain code. Normally, you would save your Excel document as a .xls document or .xlsx document when 2007 came out. Now, if it contains any type of code, you need to save it as a macro-enabled workbook or a .xlsm document. Take a look. So if I close this right now, if I do File, Close, it's going to prompt me to save it. All right, great. I need to save this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. This opens up my typical Explorer window. And right now it is a .xlsx, the newest format ever since 2007 version of the Office suite. Well, in order for me to save the code, I need to change the save as type from an Excel workbook to a macro enabled workbook or a .xlsm. If you do not do this, you will lose the code. You save it as a standard Excel workbook, you close it out, give it a name, so on and so on. Close it. Next time you reopen it, all that code that you either recorded or wrote by hand is now gone. So make sure you do save it as a macro enabled workbook. You can give it a name. For my purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save, and I'm done. All right. Any type of code, make sure you save it as a macro enabled workbook. There's another tip for you. All right, I'm going to create a new workbook. I'm just going to do File, New. I'm going to create a new blank workbook. So once again, nothing extra special open in front of you. You could try this out if you'd like as well. Now, the next example that I want to give you here of automating your experience using macros and VBA inside of Excel, I want to be able to insert a worksheet. All right, we know how to do that. We can go down to the little plus sign, we can hit the plus sign, and that'll insert a worksheet, right? I'll try it right here. Plus sign, there's my new sheet. Now, I want to be able to rename that sheet. Well, now I double click sheet 2, or I right click and I go to rename, however you do it, and I give it a new name. Let's call it week 1. All right, there's my new worksheet. Now, how many steps did I just go through there? 2, 3, maybe 4 steps to be able to insert that new worksheet and rename it. Well, that's not that big of a deal. But what if I need to insert a whole month worth of worksheets? Or maybe I want to do one for each week of the year, right? Whatever it might be. Now I got to insert a worksheet, rename it, insert a worksheet, rename it. I got to do that multiple times. Well, again, macros in VBA, we can automate that experience. One button press, get the work done, and now we've got all the worksheets that we need for our monthly or yearly report or whatever it is that we're creating. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a little macro here that will allow us to jump in and automate the experience of adding worksheets and renaming those worksheets all in one button press. All right, so let's try this out here. I'm going to go ahead and record just a little bit of code to help us automate this experience, and then we'll call it done. All right, so what I'm going to do here is on my developer tab, I'm going to go ahead and record a macro. I'll hit record, and I'm going to call this monthly worksheets. I'm going to record myself inserting a worksheet here, which ultimately we're going to modify to add multiple worksheets to the workbook. Now, I'm going to change it up here a little bit than what we saw earlier. I'm not going to use a shortcut key, although those are nice. I'm going to store it inside of what's called the personal macro workbook. This will allow me to store the code in a hidden workbook. It's always open, it's just hidden from view, that I could use inside of any workbook that I open up inside of Excel on my computer. That way I can use this automation across any workbook that I open. And then I'll give it a description. We'll say this macro places 4 worksheets. We'll say weekly worksheets in the workbook. All right, I'll go ahead and hit OK. All right, and I'm now recording. And I'm only going to record just a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. We know that that inserts a worksheet. I'm going to double click the new worksheet and I'll rename it. Week 1. And I'll hit my enter key. All right. That's it. That's all I'm going to record. So I'm going to go back to my developer tab and I'm going to go ahead and stop it. That wasn't that big. Recorded myself inserting a worksheet and renaming it. Well, now we're going to get into the code. We're going to take what we discussed earlier, recording and editing VBA code, several steps further. And I'm going to introduce you to some key concepts that you're going to master as you experience more and more macros in VBA. We're going to talk about how you can add loops to your code to get something simple just like that, adding a worksheet, to happen multiple times. Get it to loop multiple times. All right. So let me delete this worksheet. We don't need it anymore. That was just for recording purposes. I'm going to go back to my developer tab and I'm going to reopen the Visual Basic window. Now, in the Visual Basic window, because I just recorded that to the personal macro workbook, I got something new inside my VBA project window. Got my VBA project personal. I'm going to expand that. There's a module just like before, and I'll double click module 1. All right, there's my monthly worksheets macro that we created, and it's got 3 little lines of code. Nothing big, 3 things. It says sheets.add. It's going to add a new sheet after the active sheet. It's going to select the new sheet, and then it's going to rename. It's going to name sheet 3 to week 1. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to get a little bit of this code to repeat multiple times. I want to be able to add 4 worksheets. When I run this macro, add 4 worksheets, rename the worksheets week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, get it all done for me, and delete out the original worksheet because we don't need it anymore. All right, here's what we're going to do. So, first concept that I want to introduce you to here inside of the VBA is a concept called variables. And this is a concept that's going to live with you throughout your career as you work with macros and more specifically with VBA. Simply put, a variable is someplace I can store data. I can store a value so that I can pull it out later. Okay? Now, in order for Excel to know that you're going to use some storage location to put data into, we need to do what's called declare the variable. And that's what this line is here. Dim I as integer. I'm declaring a variable. You start that with the dim keyword. I'm going to call it I. That's just the name of the variable that I'm creating. It could be called Bob. It could be called adding sheets. It could be called whatever I want to call it. As integer lets it know what type of data you're going to put into that variable. In this case, I'm going to put an integer or a numeric value inside of that variable. Now, once I've got the storage created, you typically want to put something inside of it. So here I'm going to say I equals 1. Now, why 1? Well, it's an integer, it's a numeric value, but this next part that I'm about to put in here, the loop, get something to happen multiple times, is really where this is going to become much clearer for us. Now, inside of Excel VBA, we've got techniques that we can use to repeat code. These are called loops. And I'm going to introduce you to one type of loop that you can use inside of VBA. It's called a do-while loop. Watch. I'm going to say do while I is less than equal to something. And then I'm going to loop. We've essentially got the beginning of our loop with a condition. Do while I, remember I equals 1, is less than equal to something. I don't know what that something is yet. We'll discuss that. Then I'm going to tell it to do something, and then it'll loop it. It'll jump back up and check to see if the condition is still true, and it'll continue its loop if necessary. If the condition is no longer true, then it just moves on and says, okay, the loop's done. Let's go do whatever we're supposed to do next. Now, this part right here, this something, do while I is less than equal to, well, how many times do I want the loop to run? Remember, I want to be able to create new sheets, and specifically I want to be able to create 4 new sheets and rename them week 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I want this action of adding and renaming sheets to happen 4 times. So I'm going to say do while I is less than equal to 4. However many times you need it to loop. Now I get to jump in between the do and the loop line and tell it what to do. Well, that's where I borrow some of the recorded code that we created earlier. I need this one. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to paste it up above. This is the line that tells it, oh, we're going to add a new worksheet. We're going to add it after the active sheet. Okay, so that adds the sheet. Now I want to be able to rename that new sheet. So I'm going to take this line right here, the one that does the renaming, and I'll paste it in here. There we go. Now this line right here, this select line, we really don't need it. The macro recorder just put it in there. So I could just delete that. Let's get rid of it. It's one of the beauties of the macro recorder. You record yourself doing stuff, and then you can get in and just modify it. All right, so we've got a line here, part of our loop, that's going to add a new sheet. Every time it loops, it'll add a new sheet. Now the next part's going to get a bit trickier. We're not always going to have a sheet 3. So where it says sheet3.name, essentially go to sheet 3, get to its name, and rename it, that's not always going to work. So I'm going to take this out. Instead of sheets, sheet 3, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to replace it with active sheet.name. So whatever the active sheet is, whatever sheet they got done just adding in, it'll take that sheet and gets to its name. Now, second part here is I don't always want to call them week 1. In fact, we wouldn't be able to do that. Excel would blow up and say, oh, you already got a sheet called week 1. You got to name it something else. So I'm going to get rid of the 1, and I'm going to use a technique here called concatenating or combining. I'm going to take 2 values and I'm going to combine them together to make a more dynamic name. Now, there's a couple of pieces to this. One, we've got this literal week space. It's got quotes around it. That's what we want, week with a space. But then I want to take that and I want to combine it. And the way that we combine this out of VBA is with the ampersand, the and symbol. So we're going to take week with a space, combine that with a number, some number. Well, the first time my loop runs, it adds a sheet, and then we want to rename it and call it week 1. Then I want to loop again, and I want to add another sheet and call it week 2, and so on. Get this thing to loop 4 times. Well, this number here is something that we need to change every time it loops. All right, here's something pretty neat. This is one of the beauties of using variables within your loops. We've got a variable called I. Currently it's equal to 1. So the first time our loop runs, do while I, which is equal to 1, is less than equal to 4. Well, every time our loop runs, we want to increase the value of I by 1. That way the second time it runs, I is now equal to 2. That's still less than 4. So it runs the loop, then we'll increment it to 3. Oh, that's still less than 4. Then we'll do our thing, then increment it to 4. It'll jump back up and say, okay, I could do it one more time. But we're going to increase that I variable by 1 every time it loops. So I'm going to jump into my loop here, and I'm going to say I equals I plus 1. So every time it loops, I gets increased by 1. Now I can take that I value and I can use that inside of my dynamic name. So now it'll be the active sheet's name is equal to week space, combine that with whatever I is currently equal to. That's it. Now, this is pretty slick. We're taking a little bit of what we recorded and we're now modifying it to get it to do more for us. Again, ultimately automating your experience. Now there's one more thing. After the loop is all done, I want to delete the original sheet that came in the workbook, the brand new workbook. I want to delete it out of there. So I'm going to say worksheets 1.delete. That means the very first worksheet in the workbook, delete it out. Worksheets 1 represents the first worksheet. .delete, we're going to delete it out of there. All right. What do you think? Recorded a little bit, got some of the magic done with the macro recorder. Now we're getting in a little bit deeper into VBA. These key concepts, variables, loops, the syntax, the way that you write your VBA. This is all stuff that's going to come to you as you practice and as you go through our Excel, VBA, and macro courses. This is all stuff that we're really going to nail down. I'm going to give you plenty of examples of how to work with this. But let's take a look at what this magical little monthly worksheets macro would do for us. So I'm going to close this out. So imagine this. The next week rolls around. You need to add a new workbook and have 4 worksheets in it called week 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So how do we run this? Well, you got multiple ways to do this. I'm going to introduce you to modifying your quick access toolbar to give you a button to press. Top left corner of your screen, you've got your quick access toolbar. I'm going to go to a little down arrow. I'm going to go down to more commands. Inside of here, I'm going to change it from popular commands to macros. There's macros. And there's my monthly worksheets macro. It's in my personal workbook. I'll select that. I'm going to hit add. That adds it into my quick access toolbar. I'm going to hit OK. And now I've got a button up there that runs my macro. All right, watch this. You ready for the magic? All right, I'm going to hit that button. All right, Excel will permanently delete the sheet. Do you want to continue? Remember, the last line deleted the original sheet. I've got my 4 new worksheets in there, week 1, 2, 3, and 4. How quick was that? And now we're going to delete sheet 1. I'll delete it. It's gone. And I'm left with just the 4 worksheets that my macro created. All in one button press. I mean, you name it. You think of what you can do inside of Excel, and you can automate it. You can record a little bit of it. Get in there, start recording yourself, and then you can get into the VBA and start to modify it. All right, what do you think of that?
Hey guys, John here. Sorry to interrupt, but if you have any questions, please write them in the chat box now, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. There's a lot of questions coming through. If I can't get to you now, then as soon as the webinar is over, Kyle and I will send you a reply straight away. Okay, back over to Kyle.
Now, before I turn the time back over to John, I want to show you just a couple more quick tips and tricks that you can utilize to help you expand your knowledge of Excel, and more specifically with Excel macros and VBA. So take a look. So I've got the book 2 open. This is that blank workbook that we just got done working with, and it's got the 4 worksheets in there that are macro inserted for us and renamed for us. Let's reopen the VBA window for a moment. All right, here it is. All right. So here you can see inside my project panel that I've now got 4 worksheets in there. Earlier, I don't think I called it out, but there was only 1 worksheet in there. Okay? But now that we've had the procedure run, the macro run, it's added the 4 worksheets, and they show up here inside the project panel now. Now keep in mind, when I originally recorded the macro, I recorded it to the personal macro workbook. So any code that I have in there and any code that I've modified and added to is now inside the personal macro workbook. It's not inside of the book 2 project that we ran the macro within. Okay? Just keep that in the back of your head here. All right, so what I want to show you here is 2 things. One, I want to show you how to add an additional button to a worksheet itself. I showed you just a few moments ago how to add a button to the quick access toolbar within your Excel application. That's great, but that's a part of your application. You send a document to somebody that contains a macro, they don't get that button. It's not there. That's part of your application. So we're going to take a look at how to add a button to the worksheet itself so users can click on a button and it'll run whatever process that button's tied to, whatever macro that button's tied to. The second thing I want to show you here, and this is perhaps one of the neatest things I'm about to show you here, especially if you're just starting out with an Excel VBA, is called the Step Into feature. This is going to help you with 2 things. 1, learning code, and 2, how to debug code. 1 technique that you can use to help you debug it if you run into errors. So first, the button. Take a look. I'm going to open up a new workbook. Let's do File, New, just a new blank workbook. Now remember, the code that we wrote, that we originally recorded and then modified, is in the personal macro workbook. So I've opened up a brand new workbook. I'm going to create a button in there that ties itself to the code inside the personal macro workbook. Really simple to do. Take a look. Let's get this back off my screen here. So inside of the new workbook, or whatever workbook you want to put a button inside of, I'll go back to my Developer tab. Inside of the Controls section of the Developer tab, I can go to Insert, and the very first one in there looks like a little gray rectangle. This is your button control, or you might hear referred to as a command button. So I go ahead and select that. I'm just going to click on it once. And then I'll come down to my worksheet, and I'm going to click and drag, just left click and drag to create this button. Now, very important, as soon as I let go, here it is, it pops up with my Assign Macro window. I've only got one, so I grab my Monthly Worksheets macro, and I hit OK. And I've now got a button that when I click on it, it will run that macro. And I can change the text in there. Let's just delete that out. Let's say add weekly sheets. Oops. All right, I click away. I got my button. So now when I click that button, it's going to run that procedure. So I'll go ahead and click it. There it is. Oh, Excel's about to delete the worksheet. I've got my 4 new worksheets down there at the bottom of my screen. I hit delete, and now I've got it. So one button press right there, just a button on the worksheet. Remember, that's just on the Developer tab. Insert, and insert a button, and then assign it to one of your macros. Okay? Pretty quick, pretty simple. There's lots of different ways that you can run macros. We just seen a couple of them during this webinar. As you go through the Excel VBA courses that we offer, we'll introduce you to some other techniques that you can use as well to help you run your procedures or run your macros. Now, I mentioned there's one more thing. I know John's itching to get back in here and talk to you a little bit himself, but one more thing that I want to show you here, and this is perhaps one of the neatest tricks I can give you, especially if you're just starting out with an Excel VBA. Now, think about this. I know you've probably gone out to your favorite search engine and typed in something like how to do this inside of Excel, okay? Or how to do this with a macro. You come up with hundreds or thousands of websites that have samples and answers to your question. You may have even gone out to one of these websites, copied some code, and pasted it into your Excel application, the VBA window. Now that's great. There's loads of code out there, stuff that's already done for you. But that code, somebody else wrote it. And they may have done it a very specific way. Now I want to be able to learn. How did they do that? Why did they do that? What does that do? Okay, so what I'm about to show you here is called a feature called Step Into or Step Through. Take a look. I'm going to go ahead and close this workbook. This is just the one that I created the button in. I don't really need it. I'll just close it. I'm going to create a brand new one just so I have something fresh to start with. And I'm still going to work with the same procedure, the same macro that we just created, but just in a brand new workbook. Now, I'm going to bring my code window over as well. And I'm going to get these two windows just side by side each other, just so I can see the Excel workbook, that brand new workbook, and I can see my macro. Now, we've seen you can attach this to a button, to a shortcut key, a button in the interface, or a button on the worksheet, and your users can run it. Now for you, the developer of the procedure of the macro, you have a couple ways that you can run your code as well. One, I've got my procedure, my macro, monthly worksheets. If I click into there, just as long as my cursor's in there, there's a play button or a run button at the top of my VBA window. And I can just run the procedure right there. Boop, done. Now that's neat, but I want to show you the feature here called Step Into. And what this is going to allow you to do is step through your code, your macros code, a line at a time. So imagine this. Again, you've gone out, you've copied a bunch of code, or maybe you even recorded a bunch of code just through the macro recorder, and now you want to go through and see what's actually happening here. Step into the code or step through the code. So again, I got my two windows side by side each other. I'm going to click into my procedure, and if I go up to the Debug menu, there's an option called Step Into. Now I like to use the shortcut key F8, just the function key, top of your keyboard, F8. So I click into my procedure, I'm going to tap the F8 key. Now one tap, it activates the macro. It's going to start running it. But in order for it to continue to run each line of code, I need to continue pressing the F8 key. Step through each line of code, one statement at a time. So I'm going to hit F8 again. So here's my I variable that we created. What is it currently equal to? And this is really neat. As you're stepping through it, I can see what I is equal to. In this case, it's equal to 0. Hasn't done anything yet. Well, let's hit F8 again. Now what's it equal to? It ran that line, I equals 1, and now if I hover my mouse over that, it says I is equal to 1. Now it's going to go through my loop. I is currently equal to 1, which is less than equal to 4. So I hit F8 again. It's done that line. It's entered my loop. The condition's true. So now it's going to add a sheet. Keep an eye on the sheets over here. I'm going to hit F8 again. And now I've got a new worksheet there. Well, what's it going to do next? It's going to change the active sheet's name to week plus the I. What's I equal to? Oh, 1. So I hit F8 again. And now it's equal to week 1. And I can continue hitting F8 over and over again. Here, I is equal to 1. I press F8 again, it runs that line, and now I is equal to 2 because we added 1 to it. Now I keep going. I'm just going to F8, 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 and I just get to watch the code run literally as I'm stepping through it. F8, F8. Keep doing this here. All right, let's see. What's it equal to now? I is equal to 4, but I hit F8 again. Now it's equal to 5, so it's going to try to loop. It's going to try to loop. Remember, I is equal to 5, which is no longer less than equal to 4. So when I hit F8 again, it skips the loop and it goes down to my worksheets delete. Now remember, we got that original worksheet in here called sheet 1. If I hit F8 again, it's going to delete the worksheet. Great, it's gone. And now I'm just left with the 4 worksheets that the procedure created. Now it's on the end subline. It's all done. I hit F8 again. And I've completed the procedure. Done. Step into. Very slick. You're brand new getting into Excel, or you're running into errors and you're trying to figure out where it's happening. You can check variable values as you step through your code, dissect it, figure out what's going on, or just figure out what the code does. If you inherit work from other coworkers and they've written their own macros, it's a great way to learn what's going on inside the code. And maybe even borrow from it, repurpose it to fit your needs. F8. Remember your debug menu, step into. All right, so there's a couple additional tips there. I hope you enjoyed those, especially if you're just starting out with an Excel VBA and getting into the programming world. There's some neat ones right there. Now, John and I have put together a huge course all about Excel VBA. Now, if you haven't done any programming before, it can be daunting. It can be hard. There's a lot to remember. There's a lot to do. There might seem like a lot of trying to memorize keywords and syntax and so on. But that's why John and I are here. We're here to help you. We're here to help you become more productive within Excel by automating your tasks through Excel, macros, and VBA. So we put together this course, and I want to talk just a little bit about it right now. So the first part of the course is an introductory level to Excel, macros, and VBA. I'm going to introduce you to some of the key terminology, objects, properties, methods, and so on that are going to make up your experience and career within Excel, VBA, and macros. We're going to talk about things like objects. What's an object all about? What does that look like inside your code? We're going to talk about looping structures. What does this really mean? What's going on in there? How can we best approach when we want to be able to repeat a block of code? Really fundamental stuff, understanding Excel macros and VBA. Now, once we've built a foundation, and that's very important, we build a solid foundation anytime we get into any programming language, VBA or otherwise. Once we've done that, then we'll jump into some projects. I'm going to take you through 7 real-world project-based examples, and you're going to program it yourself. You're going to record macros, you're going to repurpose those macros, you're going to edit the code within there, you're going to write your own procedures, create modules, create macros and procedures, write your own code. You're going to get your hands dirty, you're going to get in there, and you're really going to learn Excel macros and VBA through these 7 project-based real-world examples. That's the second section of the course. The third part, I'm going to take you into user forms. We want a nice, intuitive, user-friendly interface for our users to be able to interact with our Excel documents. That's what Excel VBA user forms are all about. Present the user with a window. Got buttons, check marks, radio buttons, drop-down lists, whatever it is. Present them with this nice user-friendly interface to be able to interact with your Excel content, all through Excel VBA user forms. And we'll talk all about that. Setting up the forms, the controls, writing the code, interacting with the users, receiving input, doing something with that data, and so on. Interacting with the users, presenting them with a nice user interface. That's the third part of the course. The fourth part, we're going to take you into dashboards. How to create effective, intuitive, user-friendly dashboards. Drop-down menus with filters, a little bit of VBA in there to make it more interactive and to interact with the data between the user and your Excel data. We'll talk about charts, slicers, and so on. Building a beautiful dashboard that you can show off for your reports. So, I appreciate you all coming out and joining me for this webinar. Once again, I know John's waiting there. He wants to jump back in and talk with you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to John. Again, thank you very much for coming out and joining me, and I'll see you inside the course. So I'll pass it on over to John.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much for this awesome webinar. You've covered a lot. I'm sure that a lot of people have opened their eyes into what's possible with Excel and VBAs and macros in particular. So thank you for your time. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. What Kyle showed you guys is just scratching the surface, because we've only had 45 minutes for this webinar. There's so much more that you can do with macros and VBA, and we have created a course. We are launching it today, and it's called the Extreme Macros and VBA Online Course. It's a lifetime online access, and you can also download the videos. Now, this is in-depth course, which I'm going to go through now. It's over 10 hours of material, over 150 short tutorials that talks about everything and anything you need to know about VBAs and macros so you can save time and money. Now, let's just go through this course here. Let me just scroll down, and this is the web page here of the course, and it just explains a little bit about the course. If we just scroll down a little bit more here, okay, let's go to the course curriculum. So you get 4 modules. The first one is the introduction to VBA. Then we go on to mastering key macro and VBA concepts with 7 projects. So real life projects, we go through them, or Kyle goes through them, because he's going to be your instructor. He is the expert in VBA and macros. And number 3, Kyle's going to go through mastering VBA user forms. These are awesome. We'll talk about that in a second. And then how to create a VBA dashboard. Now, let's just go through this a little bit. So module 1 is an introduction to VBA. So if you don't know macros or VBA, or you know a little bit about it, this is for you. Now, the first one is 9 videos you can see here in 44 minutes. You can show the content. And it just shows here what we're going to talk about here. So we'll just talk about an overview of VBA and what is that. And then Kyle goes through the worksheet object. This is how you can reference a worksheet, change its name, how to count, create and print, and also delete worksheets using VBA. Then the range object here, you're going to learn how to reference a range of cells in your worksheet, how to select them, change its values, and reference a cell on another worksheet. Relative references. Now in here we explain the difference between the absolute and relative reference, and also how to reference the active sheet or an active cell, and introduce you to the offset command, which is a great formula that you can use to select different ranges. Modules and procedures. Kyle talks about what a module is and how you create your first procedure, or in simple terms, macro. You'll also learn how to run a procedure using a button, adding comments to your VBA code, and saving your Excel macro enabled workbook. Now, variables are great. They're very important when creating VBA and very powerful indeed. You're going to learn how to create a variable that will enhance your VBA coding skills and macros. We explain the different types of variables such as string, integer, and boolean.
conditional statements and loops. Now, these are the if statements, just like similar to your normal if Excel formulas. And you can create various loops as well that it's going to truly automate your workbook. Now, this is a very important section within this module, and it's just going to take your automation onto another level. And then finally, within this first module, you're going to create your first message box that prompts users to an action and receive user input via an input box, as you can see here. Module 2 is mastering key macro and VBA concepts with 7 projects. On the first project, Kyle shows you how to record a macro, edit it, save it, and run it to your Excel workbook, and everything else that you need to know about recording and storing macros. Project number 2 is about sorting your data with an input box and message box. Now in here, you're going to create an input box for your user to sort their data and a message box to alert the user of any errors. As you can see here, that's a message box there. You can choose how to sort, and then bang, it sorts it automatically. Number 3 is preparing and cleaning up data with VBA. Very important. We will show you how to insert and format headers in your data for every single worksheet with a press of a button. Imagine having 100 worksheets. You're not going to do this manually, copy paste. No. Bang, click of a button, just like that. All your sheets get updated in seconds, not hours. Project number 4 is using VBA to automate Excel formulas. You're going to learn how to automate the sum function using VBA and loop the sum function over multiple worksheets. That's going to save you a lot of time as well. Project number 5, we're going to bring everything we talked about in the previous projects and create a yearly report. So all the knowledge and skills, you're going to consolidate your data into a yearly report, and we'll show you how to do that. Project number 6 is introducing you to VBA user forms. Now, these are very cool. These are awesome. I love them. You should use them. It just gives interactivity onto your Excel workbook. It allows users to pick and choose and reduces the chance of error. So this is like a user form here. Someone can click and drop down and add sheets and run the report. Great little feature. You can do this using VBA. It's called VBA user forms. You're going to learn how to create a user form with drop downs and buttons that allows a user to add new sheets and run the yearly report created in project number 6. Number 7 is importing data from text files. Now we show you how to import data from multiple text files into separate worksheets within your workbook. Very powerful feature. A lot of people ask for this, and we've got a section for you. Now, module number 3 is mastering VBA user forms. Okay, so in the first section, we're going to build the user interface with a VBA user form. This is it here. This we can do using the VBA Editor, and it's very easy. It's just dragging and dropping, and you have it there. You'll understand what user forms are all about, how to layout and create a form, how to use different controls like text boxes, command buttons, combo boxes, and check boxes. This is great. I love them. Now, project number 2 is connecting the user form to a worksheet for data entry. So I'm going to learn how to transfer the data from this user form onto a worksheet list with a simple press of a button. Project number 3 is creating a print report user form. You can create a new user form interface to print out a report based on the records entered from project number 2. So that's great. You can just take information from your master data, press a button, it opens up a new worksheet, and you can print it out. Number 4 is building a statistical user form. Now look at this. Imagine having a button where it shows you the average call time, the maximum call time, just key statistics. That's just very powerful. So we're going to show you how to build a user form that shows that kind of information. Now this is just the call time, but imagine having sales. You can apply the sales, you can apply that to employee data, to whatever you like. And the final module is creating a VBA dashboard. Oh yeah, this is going to be a great module here. So we introduce you to this dashboard that you can create using formulas. and automate it using VBA. So with a couple of presses of buttons, it automatically updates and you don't need to do anything else. Now we show you how to clean your data with formulas. We'll show you the proper, the upper, choose and text formulas. It just cleans up the raw data that you get and just to make your dashboard more presentable. We also go into the lookup data here. We'll show you how to do the data validation drop down and also talk about the VLOOKUP and index match formulas. Great formulas, the most popular formulas, we'll show you how to use them. Filtering data, we created an advanced filter to show you specific data on your dashboard and then use a macro and VBA to automate this process. We also show you how to use subtotal function and why you need to do that using your dashboard. It's more powerful than the count or average or max. Subtotal is a great function and we explain that in here. Now we also go into the pivot tables and pivot chart. Amazing interactivity with that. You can analyze data in seconds and we show you how to create a pivot table and a pivot chart and also use VBA to connect, update and automate your dashboard. Very powerful. Just with some code, a few lines, you have that. And then each time you change something or you press something, bang, it updates your dashboard. We also include interactive buttons, slices. These are great. We include them in your dashboard and this brings interactivity into your dashboard and your user and management and love. And the final touches, some important steps about protecting your dashboard and how to make it more presentable. So that is it there. You can click down here to view all the tutorial. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the page and these are the individual tutorials here. They're about 3 to 5 minutes long and it's all laid down here. So you can have a look at the exact tutorials that we go about. There's 160 or so videos. We're going to be adding some more videos as well through the time. Okay, so going up to the page again here, we just go through a couple of more stuff that you're going to get through this course and also talk about the bonuses that I mentioned at the start of this webinar. These special bonuses that you're going to get for attending this webinar. Now, first of all, what you get when you sign up is you get this course learning management system. It's delivered in this management system and you don't need to install any software. It's already there. All you do is just go in the course and you get access to all the workbooks and all the bonuses and all the videos. You can view it online, you can view it on your computer, on any device, and it is just an amazing course management system. If we go down here, as I said before, you get all the downloadable and interactive Excel workbooks to follow along and hone your skills. So all the workbooks that Kyle goes through, you get them in a start format and also in a finish format with all the codes in the VBA code. So you get that, it's for you, you can keep it forever and you can refer to it whenever you like. You also get the videos here. So all the videos, 160 plus videos that are in this, you can download them. You can download them and when you're traveling, you can view them, or if you don't have Wi-Fi, if you're not connected, just put it onto a hard drive and view them, while you're traveling in a plane or wherever. So that's a great feature of buying this course today is you're going to get all the videos downloaded into HD quality MP4 format. So you also get lifetime online access and course updates. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can access this course whether you're at work or at home. As long as you have internet access, you can access it from wherever you like. You're going to get new features when they come out. We're going to be updating the course as well. You also get a certificate of completion. So once you complete the Extreme Macros and the VBA course, you're going to receive a certificate of completion that you can print, frame, and also put on your CV. You can also put it within your LinkedIn profile and show that in the achievement sections for other professionals to see, and that's a great feature. Now, finally, you get a 30-day risk-free, full confidence, money-back guarantee. Now, we're so confident that you're going to get lots of value from this course that you can take it for the full 30 days, study it, apply it to your work, and see the results. Now, if you're not 100% satisfied, then I am personally more than happy to refund the full purchase amount, even if it's midnight on the 30th day. So give the course a good go, watch all the videos, download the workbooks, and ask me any questions during the 30 days. Ask me or Kyle. You have both of us here. Now, if you don't feel you'll be able to master the craft of using Excel macros and VBA to accomplish your objectives, then contact us and we'll refund you your money. No questions asked and no hard feelings. That is our motto here at MyExcel Online with all our training courses that we offer. So you literally have nothing to lose. All right, fair enough. Let's go into the bonuses, all right, that I mentioned. So you get 5 bonuses for signing up to this course. It's valued at over $900. Course bonus number 1, it's a $490 value. You get 12 months of dedicated pro level email support. So you're going to receive dedicated personal email support during the first 12 months. You're going to get fast expert level whenever you get stuck or in need of an issue resolved by our macro and VBA guru, Kyle Pugh. You can also interact with Kyle via the discussions area inside the course. And after 12 months, you're still going to receive continued support. So we're here to support you. Course bonus number 2 is $197 value. You get lifetime discount, 33% on any of our other courses. Now we have a pivot table course. We also have a Power Query course, and we're bringing out more courses on formulas and Power Pivot. So as soon as you sign up to this course, you get your unique coupon that you can use on any of our other online courses. Course bonus number 3. This is a great little ebook, downloadable ebook. Offers VBA macros you can use today. Over 100 VBA coding examples for Excel, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, and Access. This is a must-have for any of Office user. So as soon as you sign up, you get this downloaded. You can download it in the course, or you can view it within the course learning management system. So it's a great ebook and one that you must have because you're learning VBA macros, and this gives you over 100 different examples. Course bonus number 4. These are great 2 add-ins here. So these are by Ryan Wells. Now Ryan Wells, as you may know him, he is our internal VBA expert, and he's been helping MyExcel Online users for the last few years. He runs the free fortnightly VBA lessons, and he has his own website, wellsr.com, and he creates add-ins. Now he's created 2 add-ins here, and for signing up today, you're going to get these 2 for free. Okay, and I'll explain what they are. So this Wells Pro add-in is an Excel add-in that lets you automatically import macros from wellsr.com directly into your spreadsheet without ever leaving Excel. Plus, you can organize your existing macros and even share them with the entire Wells Pro community right from your Excel ribbon. Now, the other one is a mouse to macro. This is an Excel add-in that records your mouse clicks and cursor movements and converts the actions to a VBA macro for instant playback. That's just insane. You finally be able to quickly create repeatable cursor movements and mouse clicks for your VBA projects. So these 2 add-ins, they're worth $65. You can go to his website, have a look at it. You get these for free for signing up today. And finally, the webinar that we went through today, you get that as well. It's in the course. You can download it because a lot of people ask, the webinar replay is only valid for a few days, and it is, and then we don't give access to it because we close the course. But when you purchase the Extreme Macros and VBA course, you get this replay as well. So you get lifetime online access to this, and you can also download it. So you can download it and view it offline. So that's a great value there. So these are the bonuses there. All right, so now you're going to be asking me, how much does this course cost, John? Well, this course with all the bonuses that you get today is going to cost you just $297. And also for signing up today, you get a 20% off the retail price. All you got to do is just apply the coupon code XL. So you see it here, XL, the letters XL. You apply that in the checkout and you're not going to pay $297. You get a further 20% discount because you attended the webinar, and this is just another bonus that we're giving today, a further 20% on the retail price. Now, if you compare live training, you got to travel there. It costs a lot of money because you got to pay the instructor in his time or her time. You got to travel there. You got to stay in a hotel. Also, you get the uncomfortable conference rooms. You get divided attention because your Excel level and the next person's Excel level is not the same. There's a lot of distractions. Maybe you're not on the same level, and you only have access to that person for 1 day or 2 days. So live training is expensive, and also so is one-to-one training. Tutoring is about $100 per hour, and that's a going rate. So if this course here with 10 hours of material, if that was a one-on-one lesson, that's about $1,000. But you're getting this course just for $297 USD. You get lifetime access, you get all the bonuses that we talked about, you get all the workbooks, you get your personal support, 30-day money-back guarantee, and also a certificate of completion. So now, what I want you to do is, in here, you get the two options. You can pay 3 months installments or one payment of $297. So you can click in here, just click on there, and it goes in the checkout screen here. If you already have an account, just click on there. If you want to create a new one, you can just put in your name here quickly. So you fill in your details, fill in your email and your password, and press create account. You can also sign up with LinkedIn. And this is it here. You have a coupon? Yes, you do, because I gave you the coupon. It's called XL. Press apply, and bang, you get your 20% for new student discount here. Now you can pay by credit card, or you can check out with PayPal. So that's it, pretty quick and easy. As soon as you do that, bang, you get access to the course, you get access to the bonuses. Even if you use a 3-month option, as soon as you pay the first month, you get access to all the bonuses and all the videos there. All right, so let's recap what you're gonna get when you sign up today. You get lifetime online access and course updates with Extreme Macros and VBA course. You get 4 modules on macros, VBA, user forms, and VBA dashboards. You get 10 hours of short video tutorials. You get over 150 downloadable videos and workbooks. You also get a certificate of completion, and also our 30-day 100% money back guarantee. Plus, you get these limited time bonuses valued at $969. Bonus number 1, 12 months of dedicated pro level email support. Bonus number 2 is 33% lifetime discount on any MyExcelOnline.com courses. Bonus number 3 is the Excel ebook 100 plus offers VBA macros you can use today. And bonus number 4 is 2-time Excel add-ins, the Wells Pro add-in and the Mouse to Macro add-in. And finally, bonus number 5, you get the Macros and VBA webinar replay, which you can download, the one that we went through today. Now, this webinar here is being recorded, as I said before, and we're going to send you an email with the webinar replay, but it's only going to be available just for the next few days because the course is going to close because we need to help our students. So this course, the Extreme Macros and VBA course, is only open for the next few days, and the webinar replay is open until then. So after that, the webinar replay goes away. But once you purchase the Extreme Macros and VBA course, you get access to all the bonuses, and then you also get the webinar replay. You can download it and view it again. And so now we're going to go through just a couple of questions that people have just put in the chat box. And I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. So just give me 1 second. Okay, a couple of people talking about the Excel version. You can, as long as you have Excel for Windows 2007, 2010, 2013, or 2016, Office 365, this is compatible. Excel for Mac 2011 and 2016. What payment methods do you accept? Well, we accept all major credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, as well as PayPal. The course fees are in USD. You can also pay by check or bank transfer. If you want to do that, just send an email to me, john@MyExcelOnline.com, and I will get that organized for you. We also have tax invoices for your records. So if you need to present a tax invoice, we can set that up and email to you, and any other paperwork that your company or government may require.
People say, can you purchase this for a large number of staff? Yes, we can. We have multi-user discounts. So if you have more than 2 people that want to sign up, then just email me. Once again, John at MyExcelOnline.com, and we'll give you a discount for getting multiple people signing up to this course. A couple of people are asking whether this is for them or not. Well, let me just tell you who should take this course. New users, beginners and intermediate, and also advanced Excel users that are new to macros and VBA. Now, there's a lot of experts out there in Excel, but they don't really know how to use macros and VBA. So this course is for them as well. Now, anyone who wants to use Excel to automate their repetitive tasks with a simple press of a button, this course is for them. People who prepare reports that require constant updating with new data on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, this course is for them. Professionals working in the corporate world or government sector who want to leverage Excel for increased productivity, accurate data management and more, this course is for them. People who want to change career and apply for a new job that requires knowledge of macros and VBA, this course is for you. And also, there is no prior programming knowledge necessary to participate in this course. We explain to you, so all you got to do is just go in there and we explain to you everything. Okay, so keep on putting your questions. If we haven't answered them, then Kyle and I, after this webinar, we're going to go through all the questions. We'll get a whole list of them emailed to us, and we're going to go through them and email to you directly. So now we're going to close the webinar. Just a couple of minutes left. I'm going to put a slide of the testimonials here. Once again, thank you for participating in the webinar. Click on the link on the webinar here. You can click on it and it goes straight to the sales page, and you can have a look at it here, what we went through here. It's all interactive. You can click on there, go to all the different areas. There's also sample videos there you can have a look at. So the link is on your webinar page now. If you don't see it, I'm going to send you an email in the next 30 minutes with a webinar replay, and you're going to have links to this course sales page. Okay, and Kyle and I, we can't wait to see you inside the course and make you better at Excel so you can stand out from the crowd and get those promotions and recognition that you deserve, because we're here to make your life easier and increase your Excel skills. So we can't wait to see you inside the course.